For 5 decades, the world's best drivers have made their semi-annual trek to the sandhills of South Carolina. Today is no different as 46 cars are poised to qualify. And what, for purists, should be a weekend filled with mixed emotion. You see, next time we come here, it'll be out with the old and in with the new.
What an important weekend. Since 1950, these Winston Cup cars have been coming here, running 300, 400, 500-mile races, qualifying. That's
a long time.
Let's see, a long time. A lot of races, and folks are going to change this racetrack. This is the last race with the racetrack in this configuration.
Hey, Benny.
Yeah.
Are they going to change the turns?
No.
Are they going to modify the front stretch or the back stretch?
No.
Well, what's going to be different?
Well, they're going to take Doyle from there and put him on the other side.
Is that going to change it for the drivers?
I guess not.
Well, here's something that's really important then. Talk about qualifying. You want to start inside the top 25. And if you watched RPM tonight this week, you know how important first-round qualifying is. There have been 850 races run at tracks that presently host a Winston Cup race. Guess how many times the winner of the race has started outside the top 25?
Let's see, 850, 10%'s 85, 5, about 40.
12.
12?
12. So you better qualify today.
And that's exactly what Ward Burton did last year. He set on a pole in this Pontiac with a new track record, but he came back last fall, and this happened in qualifying. Ouch, the outside wall, and suddenly the car erupts in the flames as the fuel comes out the fuel filler hose. The car comes to a stop right in front of his fellow drivers on pit road. Ricky Rudd rushes out to help Ward Burton from the flames of his burning Pontiac. That's how quickly this racetrack can bite you. And here's how quickly your fortunes can change at Darlington Raceway. You see Ward Burton set on the pole last spring and last fall qualified 35th. It can be consistent, or as you saw back in 1994, it's 3rd and 38th. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Ned Jarrett, two-time NASCAR champion and former winner of the Southern 500 here at Darlington. And Ned, I know you raced this racetrack back in 1964, and they could change the name, they could change the numbering in the turns, but it'll always be the track too tough to tame.
And they've got it appropriately named, Jerry. It is a very tough racetrack. We talk about it every time we come here, but it's justified because it will jump up and get you at the most unexpected moment. You have to have 100% concentration every inch around this racetrack. And qualifying is a race by itself. You set the car, of course, a little bit different, and you can't let your memory or your concentration last for just any period of time. If so, you'll be like Ward Burton or be from the front to the back.
I don't know whether it was Laurel or Hardy. One of them down there a moment ago said they're just going to move the flagman from the front to the back stretch, which means the track doesn't change, just where you start and finish the race.
Yeah, that'll be the big difference. When they start the race, of course, they'll be going into what is now turn number 3, and that should be pretty exciting. But as far as qualifying is concerned and as far as racing concerned, basically the same thing for the drivers.
Well, that's what'll change. This is the front straightaway. When we come back in September, this will be the front straightaway, which is now the back stretch. The new grandstands going up, the new tower. They have all the concrete in place. They have been working so hard. And the track that is 50 years old, 5 decades of racing since 1950, will suddenly change, and the green flag will be waved from right there, and the track too tough to tame. Let's check in once again with Benny.
Hey, look out, guys. Look out. Got live television here. Excuse me. 4 in a row we're going for.
Well, I didn't know I had 3 poles here.
No, the race, forget qualifying.
That's all that's on my mind right now is qualifying. Trying to get a good position in this race. Then we'll worry about that other stuff.
Well, you're the fastest car in practice.
That's a surprise.
It was a shock, wasn't it?
It was, because I was talking to you, telling you how fast those Fords were, and then we dialed it in pretty good. But I tell you, I think those guys got a little something left. Let's just hope we got a little something also.
Now, this Sunday, you're going to start the race and go down and chart. This is turn 1. Now, next fall, when you come back for the Mountain Dew Southern 500, they're going to start the race, and you got to go in that corner up there. Is it going to be anything different as far as the mindset's concerned?
It's definitely going to be different going into turn 1. Is going to be turn 3, and that's such a faster corner. You know, we're really going to hardly even have to lift once we take the green flag over there. We're here, you know, you got to lift, and it gets real narrow, and going into 1, it's definitely going to be weird. It's going to be different. You're going to have to remind yourself when you're coming down those final laps that you're racing back over there, not racing back over here.
See, Weber, I told you it was going to be different.
It's not going to be that different. Of course, I don't have to drive here. Hey, I got news for you. We talked about being 25th or better in qualifying. That locks you in. Well, guess what? Today, the magic number is 24. That's where I'm standing in the 24th pit stall on the front stretch. 24 spots on the front stretch. If you're not 24th or better, you're starting, well, it's the next exit on the interstate, and you're on the back stretch, guys.
We welcome you live to the track, Too Tough to Tame, NASCAR Busch Pole qualifying. It's the 41st running of the TranSouth Financial 400, and we have a huge weekend in store for you. Our coverage of Busch Grand National Racing, of course, on Saturday, followed by happy hour, then wild 60-minute scramble in the garage area, and then try to tune them up one last time for Sunday's live flag-to-flag coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400. 46 cars in line, and as you heard Bill Weber say, only 25 will get a chance to get in the field today. The remainder will get in the field in qualifying tomorrow, and there's the man everyone is chasing. What a dominating performance in Atlanta 2 weeks ago. As the first car begins to roll, we basically have to tell you folks that we come on the air here at Darlington with a very, very heavy heart. Those of you who have been following the continuing status of John Nemechek, the driver who was injured in the NASCAR Craftsman Trucks Motorsports Complex race last Sunday. Well, this morning, the news we did not want to hear, John Nemechek passed away, 27 years of age. The youngest brother of Joe Nemechek lost his life in battling critical injuries he suffered 1 week ago. We dedicate this weekend's events to the family of John Nemechek, and we at ESPN, along with all the NASCAR family, would like to send along our deepest sympathies and our prayers to his family. Our first car to make an attempt to qualify, the car number 33, Ken Schrader. The Andy Petrie-owned Skoll Chevrolet takes the checkered flag. Remember, only one lap of qualifying on tracks of a mile or larger, with the exception of the restrictor plate tracks at Daytona and Talladega.
He was 8th fastest in practice, the last practice here, Jerry, with the Skoll Bandit Chevrolet, and he's just about equal the time that he turned in practice, 29 seconds flat, and that's what he runs here today, 169.561 miles an hour.
Kenny Schrader has 3 poles at Darlington, 2 outside poles, including the very first pole of his career, which came back in March of 1987. Second car to make an attempt to qualify will be the close call Ford Thunderbird of Brett Bodine.
The last time these cars were on the track for practice, there were some scattered clouds over the track, and the sun was going in and out and basically was covered by the clouds. The track would have been a little bit cooler, but now it's basically shining a little bit of shade over in turn 2, where there you see Brett Bodine going into that shaded area, and that'll help him a little bit.
There's the qualifying procedure today. 1 lap, positions 1 through 25. 26 and 38 tomorrow. 4 provisional for the 97 car on our points in the top 40, and 1 possible past champions provisional. 43 cars could start in the field, and the track qualifying record set last spring by Ward Burton, 28.295 seconds, 173.797 miles per hour.
Just 1 lap for these Winston Cup cars qualify here today. Brett Bodine at 29.239, 168.186 miles an hour.
Let's check in down with Benny.
Dale Jarrett, you're watching these cars go down in the corner intently. What are you looking for?
Well, just seeing, you know, the track's changed quite a bit. It's gotten hotter. The sun's been out. Seeing these guys are sliding up the racetrack, kind of getting an idea of what maybe to expect.
So if they're sliding up the racetrack, that means you can't drive in quite as deep?
Well, that's what you would think, although I'll probably go out there and try it just anyway. I'm just seeing how it's affecting their cars.
Car's pretty good?
Pretty good, yeah. I don't know that we're pole good, but the car's pretty comfortable, and made a few adjustments since we ran. But, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Same car we ran with at Atlanta the other week, so this is a good race car. Just get through qualifying, give me the race.
Okay, Bill Weber's with the provisional pole sitter.
Yeah, that'd be Kenny Schrader. You're on the pole, Kenny. Well, right now.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing 12th, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, we were like 8th in practice, run about the same speed. Had about the same problem I had when my bonsai run in practice. So we'll just have to see. It won't be real bad. Let's go car BLC to front.
What was that problem?
Just a little tight and had to jerk it loose.
Okay, track change at all?
Didn't seem to change a whole lot.
Okay, have a good weekend. Kenny Schrader.
John Andretti made his qualifying run, 29.268, 168.020 miles an hour.
Well, Kenny Schrader on the pole thus far. We mentioned, in fact, his first pole came here back in '87. He has 3 poles and 2 outside poles. Here's the young man who wowed the NASCAR world at Atlanta. Rookie driver Robbie Gordon put the Coors car on the pole in qualifying at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He will be in the Busch Clash along with fellow rookie driver Mike Skinner and Mark Martin, who qualified on the pole at Rockingham. Remember, there was no qualifying. The rains got us at Richmond, Virginia. That's why Richmond is missing from that list of Busch Clash qualifiers.
It's a little bit high there, Jerry, in the center of turns 1 and 2. Most drivers like to do that in the race. Normally in qualifying, they like to hit them a little bit lower on the racetrack through turns 1 and 2.
Coors Light, Chevy, Monte Carlo. Robbie Gordon, what a busy week. Indianapolis Motor Speedway testing their IRL machine, the G-Force car. Field Sabatas will own up there and run in May. As he takes the checkered flag in the Coors Light colors. Ed, how'd he do?
I don't think he'll be happy with his time, Jerry. Certainly won't be pole this time for Robbie Gordon. 29.343, 167.590.
4 of 46 have taken time. We'll come back with more from the track Too Tough to Tame in just a moment. Our Speed World coverage of Busch Pole qualifying for the TranSouth Financial 400 is being brought to you by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. Last car to qualify, the Hot Wheels machine of Kyle Petty in the car number 44. And Kyle's got to be pretty pleased, Ned.
Yeah, pretty good lap. He's currently second fastest at 29.168.353. And Ernie Irvin on the racetrack now in the Texaco Haviland Ford.
Runner-up in Atlanta 2 weeks ago. Best Darlington finish, second twice. Has yet to go to victory lane.
Ernie was 12th fastest in the last practice this morning. Ran 29.10. We'll see how he does this time.
Heard Dale Jarrett say a moment ago the track has changed drastically. The sun is out. It's gotten quite a bit warmer since their practice session this morning.
And Ernie Irvin currently fastest, 28.946. That's a good bit faster than he practiced, 169.889. I think we'll see a good number of cars in the 28-second bracket here this afternoon.
Let's check in with Bill Weber, who's standing by with the 6th fastest qualifier.
Okay, Robbie, you're 6th right now. I'd love getting you rookies at Darlington. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, we're going to fall. I'd be happy to make it in the first day. We made a couple changes, just a little too loose right now. I couldn't put power down.
Okay, good luck this week. Thanks. Ted Musgrave going by.
All right, Ted Musgrave, Family Channel, Prime Star Colors, car number 16. A little bit of smoke out of the back of the cars. The car may have slid just a little bit going into turn 1. Trying to beat 169.889 miles per hour. That's the time that's been set so far by Ernie Irvin, 28.946 seconds. And folks, don't adjust your set. The cars do move around on this racetrack. The car goes up toward the wall. Musgrave fighting the steering wheel. You see him cranking that wheel out of turn 4, and they're just trying to hang on.
Yeah, he got very loose coming off that turn. Turned himself a pretty good time. I believe he's going to be 3rd fastest, Jerry. We'll see when it flashes up here. That is 3rd fastest, 29.142 seconds, 168.746 miles an hour.
Let's go down to Bill Weber and Kyle Petty.
Well, you had a good lap, but it took me a couple of laps to get you on here. You dropped a few spots. How was it?
It was okay. We'd just run a little bit quicker in practice is all we'd done. We'd run like a 09 or a 10 or right along in there. We're about a 10th slower, but I was a little bit looser then. And the sun's out a little bit more than what it was when we were practicing. So, you know, that probably hurt us a little bit. We should have been a little bit tighter. Driver fault, I guess.
Okay, that's Kyle Petty. Benny's with Morgan Shepherd.
Hey, Morgan Shepherd had a great run down in Atlanta. I thought you were going to catch him there at the end.
Well, I think we definitely had the fastest car. We just had to come from so far back. And I got hung up in that traffic back there when Earnhardt and a couple of them was running there. And but once we got loose, that old Pontiac was hauling freight.
So how's he doing in Darlington?
Pretty good. We was like in the top 15 in practice. We didn't test, and this is a track that you really need to test to qualify because the driver needs to do his job and the car needs to do the job too.
So where are we going to expect? About 15th, 20th?
I think if we can get in the top 15, we'll be pretty happy. So last time I qualified here, I qualified 4th. Well, not the last time, this race last year. But we got it in us if I can squeeze on a little bit.
Morgan, I'm not going to tell you why, but you better qualify in the top 25.
Well, okay.
Okay.
Robert Presley with a lap of 2.9, 2.87, 167.911. That is 7th fastest of the 8 cars that have qualified so far.
And Bill is caught up with our provisional pole sitter.
And Ernie's just taking his team around the track, telling them what a great lap it was. And it was a great lap, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, I think we had a pretty decent lap. I mean, it's not going to be the pole, but be the front straightaway anyway. That's going to be better than what I've been doing.
It's not going to be the pole?
I don't think so. Mark's probably going to beat it right now.
That's what you're looking for. Here, stand with me here. Let's watch Mark, okay?
Yeah, let's watch Mark. Let's see.
See him?
If he lifts coming off turn 4, then I might have him, but...
He's in 3 right now.
Mark's a qualifying legend. Oh, he lifted. He still may beat me. He's pretty fast in practice.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Ned's got the unofficial watch up there, he says.
Yeah.
It was fun while it lasted, Ernie.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Have a good race.
Yeah.
All right, a new pole for Mark Martin. You saw earlier, yeah, I think he beat me. Indeed, he did. 28.831 for Mark Martin, 170.566 miles per hour. He is on our pole after 9 cars have qualified. Take a look at our rundown thus far in qualifying. Mark Martin on the provisional pole. Ernie Irvin is a good friend you saw a moment ago with Bill Weber watching himself being shoved off the pole. Kenny Schrader, Musgrave, Sachs, Kyle Petty, Brett Bodine, John Andretti, Robert Presley, and Bobby Gordon. And Dale Jarrett just ran a lap, and it was a good one.
Yes, it was a good one for Dale Jarrett. He's the fastest so far, 28.742, 171.095.
Well, the guy who was the pole sitter is standing by with Bill.
Yeah, they always make me do the bad news, Mark. We were just talking about what a great lap you had, and you're getting the bad news there. Some guy in that 88 car just knocked you off the pole.
Well, we knew it wasn't good enough for the pole, so it's a good run for us, and I'm proud of this Valvoline Cummins team and all the guys that work on it and these cars, and we'll take that. That'll be a good start spot. We'll take that and run with it.
I know you've had some great runs, but you're still looking for a real strong finish. You've been there every week.
This is the first step. Darlington's the first step in improving, you know, our finish position in these 500 milers.
All right, go get them Sunday.
Thank you.
Sterling Marlin on the racetrack was good in practice. He was 3rd fastest. Actually, he and Dale Jarrett tied for 3rd fastest in the last qualifying or the last practice session today. So let's see what he can do in the Kodak Chevrolet.
Sterling won this race back in 1995, the TranSouth 400.
He has himself a good lap, Jared, but not pole.
He estimated 28.742, and he will not do it. 28.949 seconds, 169.871 miles per hour. 4th quickest of the 12 cars that have qualified. We'll be right back. Parsons.
Hey, Ward Burton, did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. It reminded me a little bit of something last year.
That's deja vu all over again, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did a good job to save it. I had pole here last year, track record, and had a bad lap coming off the 4th, so I had the best of both worlds last year.
Which one did you like the best?
The first race, when I set track record, was definitely the most fun, but we've been struggling a little bit today. We made some changes, got it better. When the tires got worn, put on stickers, and it went the other way, so we put it back. Hopefully we'll get a decent lap in.
All right, Ward. Bobby Hillin qualifies 13th so far, and let's go down to Bill Weber.
Okay, Dale Jarrett, you were down there spying on everybody, weren't you? And it paid off.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't get in there quite as hard as I meant to, actually, in the turn 1, but the car was good. We probably left a little bit because we didn't get it quite free enough. It pushed a little bit, but rather do that than be hung out and into the wall or something like that. So yeah, I think that somebody can definitely go faster, but we've got a good starting spot.
And you're hoping the sun stays out, right?
Well, I'd like to see the sun. Yeah, everybody enjoys the sun. So
nice, pretty day.
Yeah, lovely, beautiful day. So we just soon to stay out now. I need to keep these Ray-Ban shades on, too.
Well, here's the man that just might do it. Jeff Gordon, he was the fastest in practice. He turned a 28.716 in what they call a bonsai run. That was a qualifying setup. And he doesn't do it here.
28.742 is what he had to beat for Dale Jarrett.
No, he didn't do it, Jerry. I'm sure he's not going to be happy with that lap. 28.961. Currently fifth fastest, 169.801. Breathe a little easier, DJ.
Well, Dale Jarrett able to smile with those sunshades on and crack a little bit of a smile, knowing it's not over yet by far. Just 15 cars have qualified. 46 are here, so still 31 left to go. But my heavens, you can breathe a little bit when Jeff Gordon doesn't beat you. The guy who's won 3 consecutive times here at Darlington Raceway. Next car to make an attempt to qualify, the car number 75, the Remington Arms Ford Thunderbird of Rick Mast, the Butch Mach-on machine, trying to get into the top 25 in qualifying today. That's the top 15 thus far. Those are the 15 cars that have qualified with Dale Jarrett thus far on the provisional pole.
Rick Mast and the Butch Mach, Remington Arms Ford. It's a good qualifying run. Rick's a good qualifier. If that car is on good wheels, push the button, certainly.
Checkered flag for Rick Mast completing his qualifying run.
.414, 167.186.
Welcome you, those of you watching ESPN News. Andre Aldrich and company. We're live at Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. Our pole sitter thus far in qualifying is this guy right here, Dale Jarrett, our current Winston Cup points leader and pole sitter. Huge weekend planned here in Darlington Raceway. Of course, it all comes tomorrow with NASCAR Busch Series, Diamond Hill Plywood 200 coming up at 4 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN, and happy hour, that final 60 minutes of preparation. That's at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Sunday, it all begins with NASCAR Today. Dave Despain and company, as Jeff Bodine nearly slips and slides qualifying in turn 1. By the way, NASCAR Today at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, and of course our live flag-to-flag coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400 coming up at 1 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. Thus far in qualifying, Dale Jarrett on the pole, Mark Martin is second, Ernie Irvin is third, Sterling Marlin fourth, and Jeff Gordon is fifth. Kenny Schrader, Gary Bradbury, these are the cars that are qualified there in the top 16. And Jeff Bodine's QBC Ford Thunderbird out to qualify in a great run, Ned Jarrett.
Second fastest at the moment, 28.801 seconds, 170.744 miles an hour.
Well, Bodine second quickest. Meanwhile, the 6th fastest qualifier stands by with Bill Weber.
Jeff Gordon, you're 6th right now, and you were smiling when you got out of that car. Are you okay with that?
I'm smiling because I made it back here with one piece. If you see on TV, I got way loose off of 2 and had it felt good. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten in the gas if it didn't. I got in it hard, carried it off there, thought we were gonna make it, and all of a sudden it got a little loose on me. I lost at least 2 or 3 tenths there, so that's all right. We got a good car. We got Blacker here. I'd much rather put the pressure on those other guys out there.
Okay, and you're going to save a little for Sunday, huh? Is that what you're saying?
I hope so. I mean, right now the Fords are pretty strong. Obviously, they're showing that right now, but I think we got something for them. I thought we did have something for them here today, and it's unfortunate I just got a little loose off of 2.
All right, have a good race.
Thank you.
Morgan Shepherd on the racetrack to qualify. That incredible performance at Atlanta Motor Speedway 2 weeks ago on ABC. Our live coverage continuing. What a wild weekend here at Darlington Raceway. We'll say goodbye to everyone on ESPN News. Morgan Shepherd's qualifying run, currently 10th quickest, 29.155 seconds, 168.671 miles per hour, 10th quickest. Good run for Morgan Shepherd. Now on the track, the car you saw at the very beginning of the show in flames. This is the car that set on the pole with the track record here last September. Came back 6 months later and qualified and erupted in flames out of turn 4.
Yeah, it was in the spring race that he set the track record. They normally run a little bit faster in the spring because normally it's cooler. This is one of the warmer days that I've ever seen during the spring race here at Darlington. And as a result, they're not approaching the record that Ward set a year ago here.
Thus far, the quickest car to qualify. You can see Ward Burton's car slipping up a little bit as they all do entering turn 3. They get up near that concrete. They come out of 4 and just almost to the edge of the wall as they come by you. And Doyle Ford will wave the checkered flag.
Not a good lap for Ward Burton today. He won't be happy with that at all. Kind of just turned. He's well up in the 29-second bracket.
18 cars had qualified. Ward Burton would have been the 19th car to go out to qualify the MBNA Pontiac Grand Prix. Bill Davis and company.
29.600 seconds, currently 19th, 166.135.
Back with more live qualifying from Darlington Raceway in just a moment.
A 2880, and you called that conservative, sir?
That really was. You know, I gave a little bit up in turn 3 and 4. I didn't think the car was going to stick that good. I didn't know it was, and I could have gone through there faster, I think. Maybe I would have hit the wall. I don't know, but still a really good lap. I'm happy. We're inching up towards a pole. We keep getting better, and we'll have our pole or 2 or 3 before the year's out. And really just pleased with this whole team. And our sponsors, QVC and Ford, but this team is better than it's been since I've owned the team, and I'm back. You know, I went somewhere for a couple of years, but I'm back driving and having fun, and it really feels good to be able to focus and go out there and run that fast lap. But today, you know, we're all really sad. You have a pin on your chest, John Nemechek, so all our best wishes simply go out to the Nemechek family. I had a boy in that race last week, and he scraped the wall, and when I got home, I got thinking about that and thinking about how bad John was hurt, and I started shaking, and I realized that could have been my boy out there. And then I went home and talked to my mother, and she said, now you know what your father and I went through all these years with 3 of you kids out there racing. So it's a reminder of how dangerous this sport can be. It's a great sport, and it really is safe, and that was just a bad freak accident. But our best wishes go to the Nemechek family right now.
Well said.
That's Jeff Bodine, who's second quickest. Jeff Burton, fourth quickest overall, 28.897 seconds, 107.177 miles per hour.
Great lap for Jeff Burton. On the track now is the Skittles Pontiac of Derek Cope.
Ryan Pemberton and the crew getting this car dialed in for DC. Derek Cope, there's the guys he's after. Dale Jarrett at the top of the list. Our Winston Cup points leader. And current pole sitter at 171.095, and Cope slides through turn 4, just keeps it out on the concrete. Great job by Derek Cope, and maybe got a pretty good lap out of it.
He got a pretty good lap out of it, Jerry. He's not quite as good as Bradbury was, but he's 13th fastest. 29.158, 168.654.
Well, he might have scared the Skittles off the right side of that Pontiac, but that puts him in the top 15 thus far in qualifying. 24 cars are in the field to begin the bumping when we come back. Track facts are brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil for a clean running engine.
Before the Prime Star 500 in Atlanta, NASCAR allowed the Ford Thunderbirds to have 3 7/8 inch clearance on the front aerodynamic front bumper. Well, after the race, they took 3 cars to the wind tunnel and determined through those wind tunnel tests that the Fords gave the Fords a little bit of advantage. So now they've made the clearance go to 4 inches. They've taken 1/8 of an inch, just about that much off the front aerodynamic on the Ford Thunderbird. And also, on top of that, they took a 1/4 inch off the rear spoiler. This spoiler used to be 6 inches. It's now 5 3/4. So the Fords had to shave about that much off the rear spoiler. The wind tunnel was no friend of the Ford Thunderbirds.
Well, that's it. And thank you, Benny. As an evidence, as NASCAR tries to keep the playing field as level as possible. Dick Trickle qualifying 23rd quickest in the car number 90. That means we had a full field of 25. And Mike Skinner, Ned, just began the bumping.
Yes, he did at 29.276, 167.974, puts him 20th. The elapsed time on Dick Trickle was 29.367, 167.453. I'll get it right in there.
Well, Ward Burton bumping the top 25, and Jeff Burton stands by with Bill.
And you're 4th. How was your lap, sir?
Our lap was great. I went out there hoping to run about a 10, to be quite honest. We had run a 15 in practice. We unloaded this morning to 50, a 30-50, and just went a 29.80, whatever. So
8.97, sir.
Thank you. I knew it was 80-something. I'm lucky I didn't remember my phone number, much less that fast we just ran. But I am really proud of my team. I did not have a good feel of the car at all day. They kept working with me, I'm real proud of my team. And I need to say, you know, everybody, we get wound up in this racing thing, and just want to pass on my thoughts to the Nemechek family. Everybody in the Winston Cup and Busch Grand National Garage are thinking about the Nemecheks, and I'm sure they're not watching television, but I sure would like them to get the message to them that we are all thinking about it.
Okay. Thanks, Jim.
Indeed we are. We're talking about the fact that John Nemechek passed away earlier today. Younger brother of Joe Nemechek, as we watch Winston Cup qualifying. Bobby Labonte currently second quickest, 28.773 seconds, 170.910 miles per hour. Puts him right now outside of Dale Jarrett. And that puts Robbie Gordon on the pit bubble.
Bumped Rick Mast from the top 25.
We mentioned the cars that pit on the front stretch. As here is the car number 42. Phil Parsons will be subbing for Joe Nemechek. Of course, Joe with the family down in South Florida, where his younger brother John passed away early this morning.
And Joe had already left the speedway before, of course, his brother passed away, knowing that his situation was getting worse.
So Phil Parsons asked to sub for Joe Nemechek, and all the thoughts in the NASCAR garage area are being supportive of this team and with the Nemechek family. Checkered flag as Dick Trickle is on the bubble in the car number 90.
Pretty good lap for Phil Parsons in the Bell South Chevrolet. 17th fastest, 29.211, 168.348, and that will bump Dick Trickle from the top 25. Puts Robbie Gordon on the hot seat.
That puts the team car, the Sabco team car, and this car number 42 on the hot seat. Those that have been bumped, Ward Burton has been bumped in the top 25, as has the car 75 of Rick Mast, and Dick Trickle in the car number 90, and Robbie Gordon, there you see, is on the bubble in 25th spot. Bill Elliott, next car to attempt to qualify, 5 poles. He leads all active drivers with pole positions here at Darlington Raceway. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville in the McDonald's Ford Thunderbird.
Certainly knows his way around this racetrack, Jerry.
A 5-time winner here. He won this race twice, back in '85 and again back in 1992.
And as he went out, had a loud cheer from the fans in the stands. He's still very popular. They want to see him back at the again. Let's see what he does. No, he's going to be on the pole. By any means, he'll get in the top 25, at least for the moment.
Well, 11th quickest, and that will bump Robbie Gordon the top 25. 29.134 seconds, 168.792 miles per hour, and Elliott qualifies 11th. We'll be right back. Bill Weber is caught up with the guy who's going to be awfully happy with his qualifying run.
And Bobby Labonte is here on pit road, and he is happy with his qualifying run. Obviously, a good time for Labonte here this afternoon. He's run well at this track before and has had very strong finishes, and he's looking forward to a good race here today. He ran a 28.773. That's his qualifying lap, but he's currently second, so you're smiling about that.
Well, I mean, I couldn't quite hear y'all because Terry went by, but you know, Interstate Pontiac ran good, and we're awful excited that the whole Joe Gibbs team's done a great job. I mean, they put race cars together that are fast, and I'm very fortunate to be able to drive them. But I think today is kind of one of those days where you're not really you're here but you're not here, because I think our thoughts and prayers go out to the Nemechek family after what happened. So you know, that's what it's all about. This is another day for us, but we'll take it. We'll take what we ran and just go work on Sunday.
Okay, let's see how your brother did.
Big brother Texas Terry in the car number 5, currently second in the point standings. And where did he qualify, Ned?
9th fastest so far, 28.993, 169.613. And that will bump Mike Skinner from the top 25 and puts the car number 98 of John Andretti on the bubble.
Well, Benny's caught up with a guy that has fond memories of Darlington.
He sure does. Remember last fall, the Mountain Dew Southern 500, how well that Circuit City car was running?
Well, I do, Ben. I tell you, I was looking forward to coming back here this race. You know, we feel really good about things. We brought the same car back here, a little different engine combination and a little different engine builder. So hopefully this could be the magic that we need here.
Is this one of the Glidden engines?
Well, this is one that we built in-house. Eddie Millington built it in-house for us, and Bob Glidden and his guys kind of had a lot of say-so into what went in it. So it's kind of a combination between both of them.
And the car's running?
Right now we're practice and everything, you know, I guess top 20 has always been, you know, we just kind of been off a little bit with the chassis and everything. We made some adjustments a few minutes ago, so hopefully we guess right.
And guess what? Ricky Craven right now on the outside pole, Jerry.
How about that for Ricky Craven? Got to give a call to Andy Graves and the company, that crew chief and the Budweiser team. Ned 28.750 seconds, 171.047 mile per hour. Fastest Hendrick car thus far to qualify. And that young man's got to be awfully pleased.
Well, he has to be. That was a great lap. I was listening to them some on the scanner this morning when they were practicing, and they kept working and kept improving. Didn't know they'd got that much out of it. Boy, they really improved that car.
On the bubble in 25th spot is Chad Little in the car number 97. And the pit bubble is Brett Bodine. 24 pits on the front straightaway. And here is Jimmy Spencer in the Camel Ford Thunderbird. Spencer had a great run at Darlington going last fall. Led 3 times for 69 laps. In fact, was leading on lap 179 when involved in a crash. So he likes this racetrack.
He got himself in the top 25, Jerry, with that lap he just made. 29.176. 20th fastest, 168.549.
That will bump Chad Little to the top 25. They're still chasing Dale Jarrett, who is our provisional pole sitter. All right, here's Rusty Wallace, his best Darlington finish, second twice. This is the car they nicknamed RP for Roger Penske after this car won at Richmond, Virginia on ESPN. Rusty flashing by, trying to better a 28.742 second lap. That's what Dale Jarrett has on the pole.
Went just a little bit turn 2, but it didn't slip.
Kyle Petty on the bubble. He's in 25th spot right now. Only the top 25 are going to be set in qualifying today. That run by Lake Speed a moment ago did bump the car number 42 of Phil Parsons from the top 25.
Got himself pretty solid in the top of the 25 here, I think, Jerry. You'll see it flash up here in just a moment. 29.063, currently 14th fastest, 169.205, and that does bump Kyle Petty from the top 25.
And we'll put Michael Waltrip in the Citgo Ford on the bubble. Here's the car number 43, Bobby Hamilton, driving for the King Richard Petty. STP Pontiac colors for Bobby Hamilton. Richard Petty, a 3-time winner in his career here at Darlington Raceway. All Ford waving the green flag. 46 cars here to attempt to qualify for 25 starting positions. They're chasing Dale Jarrett. He's on the provisional pole thus far. The bubble, meaning the 25th fastest car. The last car in the first round of qualifying right now is Michael Waltrip. There's Dale Jarrett, right side of your screen. Todd Parrott, his crew chief. What a talented duo they are. Boy, they have been so impressive at the beginning of 1997 as they were when they first teamed up last year by winning the season opening Daytona 500.
Boy, Bobby will be disappointed with this lap, Jerry. Not a good lap at all. That won't get him in the top 25. 29.563 for Bobby Hamilton, and that definitely will not get him in the top 25.
Well, our qualifying continues live from Darlington Raceway in just a moment. Stay with us. And the Intimidator on the racetrack, Dale Earnhardt, Goodrich Chevrolet driver, 7-time Winston Cup champion. And folks, that is concentration. Earnhardt buckled down in that seat, both hands gripping that steering wheel. He has won here 9 times, but he has struggled in 1997, trying to tie David Pearson as the winningest driver in the history of this Darlington Raceway.
He looks smooth around there, Jerry. Let's see what he can do. No, not going to be happy with that one, Jerry.
Earnhardt trying to get on the pole, but also just trying to get in the top 25 today. Was not among the quicker cars in practice, and he will not like this one at all, Ned Jarrett.
29.405 seconds, 167.237, 39th fastest.
I don't believe that Dale Jarrett on the right side of your screen or Todd Parrott on the left side, his crew chief, are convinced that they've got this pole wrapped up. They are clocking every single race car. It's spam. Thank you, ma'am. That's the car on the racetrack. We're talking about Mike Wallace driving the car number 91. Trying to get this car in the starting field for Sunday's TranSouth 400.
Made the race at Atlanta. Was the first one that he made this year. He missed the first 3 races. Of course, Richmond, as mentioned earlier, was rained out, qualifying was, and his entry blank was not postmarked early enough to get in on that scenario. So he's hoping to qualify for his second race of 1997. Beautiful race car.
Beautiful colors for Mike Wallace as flashes by. Dole Ford waving the checkered flag as we are live with Bush Pole qualifying here at Darlington Raceway.
Got himself in the field, Jerry. Good lap for Mike Wallace. Currently 7th fastest. 29.130, 168.816. How about that? Bumps Michael Walter from the top 25.
And Benny Parsons is caught up with Gary Bradbury.
Hey, Gary, you were 14th, now you're 15th. Mike Wallace just beat you, but take us through that coming off turn 4, your qualifying lap.
Well, I tell you, after the way we've been struggling this morning, and after saving it up off 4, I'm just really happy. Child Support Recovery Board, we've really struggled since we unloaded here. In fact, got in the wall earlier off in middle of turn 1 and 2. They fixed the car and everything, and got back out and got a little bit of practice, and then went out and qualified and picked up almost a second from where we've been practicing. So, you know, I'm really tickled to death. And I told Donnie I got through 1 and 2 really good. For the first time today, I got through 3, and then that miss out before, I said, well, I'm not even going to live because I'm wrecked anyway. And luckily, we saved it and got across the line. If I hadn't got through 1 and 2 and 3 so good, I would probably lifted and got straight, then went on across the line. But I just stayed wide open, and luckily we come through it.
It was a heck of a job. Congratulations on saving that thing.
Thank you.
And how about 8th position for Darrell Waltrip, qualifying at 29.547 seconds, 166.433 miles per hour. 50 years of age.
No, that's wrong, Jerry. That graphic is wrong. It's not 8th fastest for Darrell Waltrip. We'll get that squared away for you here in just a moment.
All right, we'll double-check Darrell Waltrip's time on the computer graphics there from NASCAR. Meanwhile, the car number 78, Billy Standridge. And, folks, this is a backup car in practice this morning. Standridge had a little close encounter of the concrete kind over in turn 3 and took the back end off of his primary Ford Thunderbird. This is a backup car. He was trying to get this car in the top 25 today. And, by the way, we are told that Darrell Waltrip's time was indeed 42nd fastest, 29.547. 166.433 miles per hour for DW.
Standridge with his backup car behind to get in. He had a great qualifying run at Atlanta a few weeks ago, but he don't get in the top 25 here today.
They just had limited time to get this car worked on. They backed it out of the truck after the damaging the primary car over in turn 3. And he had a good lap in practice this morning, was running awfully well, and the car stuck in 3, and the car slipped just a mite coming out of turn 3, and he just tagged the wall, and the car looped and then got heavy into the concrete. 45th quickest for Billy Sanders' backup car, 29.689 seconds. He'll have to come back tomorrow in second round qualifying and try to get in the top 38 for the field. Well, let's check in with our pole sitter, Dale Jarrett.
Well, you're having a pretty good roll here, aren't you? You won at Atlanta, you lead the points, and you're on the pole at Darlington.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better right now. These guys behind me are the ones that I give the credit to, and Todd Parrott up there. They did just a great job. I had a good car right from the very start. Didn't know if that would be fast enough to hold up, especially when the clouds came about there. But, you know, it's just a good start for us. Back in the Busch Clash again, we're excited about that.
You came right over here to congratulate your crew because they are so important at this track because the combination here really has to click.
Got to have all of those guys. You know, what they do is more important than what I do. They give me a car that came out here first thing today, and I was able to run fast right from the very start. And I have so much confidence in them right now. It's just incredible. I know when I show up that I can get in and go fast.
Does track owe you one, Dale?
I don't know that anybody owes me one or any track, but we certainly feel like that we know what it takes to get around here. If we can just get to the end without anything happening, we'll have a shot to win on Sunday, and we hope to do that.
Okay, came here last fall racing for a lot of money. This Sunday he'll be racing for the win and to protect his lead in the Winston Cup point standings.
And 2 weeks ago, he dominated Atlanta, leading 253 laps today. He puts that car on the pole at the track too tough to tame. We'll come back and wrap up qualifying in a moment. Our Speed World coverage of Busch Pole qualifying for the 41st annual TranSouth Financial 400 is being brought to you by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. Let's take a look at the rundown in qualifying. And to no one's surprise, Dale Jarrett continues to be hot in 1997, puts his Ford on the pole alongside what may be a bit of a surprise, Ricky Craven.
Yeah, in the Chevrolet second. And look at there, you got 3 brands of cars racing in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. You got 3 of them in the first 3 positions. There, a Pontiac with Bobby Labonte in 3rd position.
Then 3 more Fords, and then you see back to the field, only the top 25 set today. Jimmy Spencer getting in the top 25. 26 on down, they can stand on their time or go in second round qualifying tomorrow. And here are some of the guys that will still have some work to do. Back to the field, take a look. Dale Earnhardt back in 39th spot.
Jerry, I'd say all of those on this page have some serious consideration about requalifying tomorrow.
And Hud Strickland, the car that ran so well before here last year and qualified 5th at Atlanta, now being shown in 46th spot. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
First round of qualifying is out of the way. Guys deciding whether or not to go second round on Saturday. But here's going to be one of the big stories on Sunday. You talk about all the change at Darlington. They're going to move the front stretch to the back stretch and all that. So one story that doesn't change here a lot, tires. New right side tire at this track, but still these tires will wear out quickly. One crewman told me this morning drivers will be looking for new tires after 35 laps on Sunday. The crew's going to try and convince them to stay out there for 50. Try doing that here at Darlington, the track that's too tough to tame on old tires, guys.
Well, the Busch Grand National cars are on the racetrack, and these guys are on the same tires that the Winston Cup cars will run on Sunday, but these guys will race tomorrow, and we'll have it for you. The NASCAR Busch Series Diamond Hill Plyway 200 coming up at 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, and then happy hour, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, that final 1 hour scramble to get these Winston Cup cars dialed in for Sunday. Now, Dave Despain will be here at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, simulcasting on ESPN and ESPN2 for NASCAR Today, and then Bob Jenkins and all the ESPN Speed World crew for our live flag-to-flag coverage at 1 o'clock Eastern time, the TranSouth Financial 400. Back at Darlington Raceway, Dale Jarrett is the pole sitter for the 41st annual TranSouth Financial 400, winning his 2nd pole in a row here at Darlington, the track too tough to tame. Let's go down to Benny Parsons for some closing thoughts.
This has been an awfully tough day because we learned this morning that John Nemechek did pass away this morning. Joe Nemechek is there with his mom and dad and his sister, and I just wish that we could take some of that hurt that I know Martha and Joe are feeling right now and absorb some. But he can't. We got to continue on, but believe me and trust me that your thoughts you are in our thoughts and in our prayers. And we'll get back to Charlotte. When you get back to Charlotte, let's get together, hug one another, and try to go on as best we can.
Well, there's 27-year-old John Nemechek, a member of the NASCAR family. We all lost a family member this morning when it was announced that he had succumbed to serious head injuries in a hospital in South Florida. Once again, coming up next, auto racing thrills and spills with host Bob Jenkins. For Bill Weber, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, and Jerry Punch, I congratulate Dale Jarrett on winning the pole here at Darlington. This has been a special presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long, everyone.